Welcome back to another week on Beam City Sports.
Beam City Sports.
We are back on 96.5 FM. The boys are back in the studio. How we feeling?
Feeling good, man. We always feeling good when we come into the studio. It's a haven of Sacramento Kings basketball, and no matter how it is in Sacramento, it's a good time here. It's a good time here in the Beam City Sports studio.
Yes, sir. Agreed, Dev. How we feeling?
Good in the studio. Feeling good after a win and feeling good on a game day. So, very good.
A great win. A great win. I'm feeling real good after that win. It's
Yes,
a statement. Not really a statement win because the Charlotte Hornets were.
Did what needed to be done, though.
Yeah. I was gonna walk out the door of the Kings season if that was a close game.
Yeah. Well, a statement win for the Kings against the Charlotte Hornets last game. Our boy Zach LaVine finally had a good game. You know, he's been having some good games, but this was a great game for Zach LaVine. Young Hollywood out there. So many threes, the shooting percentage off the charts. It was really fun to watch. And I know Luke was in the building for that one. How was the atmosphere, that Zach LaVine 40-piece?
It was amazing. I haven't been to a game since De'Aaron's been I did go to one of the first games since De'Aaron was traded, but I don't know, the atmosphere is still high. It's still very exciting. And then what was crazy was I don't know if you guys were going to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up now. When the De'Aaron Fox graphic was brought up on the Jumbotron, the whole arena started booing a little bit. Not the whole arena, but whoever saw the Jumbotron, just his face popped up and it was boo. So it's gonna be ugly when he shows up.
You know, I've been trying to tell you guys, he's not gonna get a standing ovation when he comes back, and we saw it, like you said.
Yeah. It's I don't know, but they're still gonna make him a video. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Is he gonna get booed during the video, or is he gonna get? I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see. Who knows if he even plays? Because, honestly,
Victor
Wembanyama's out for the year, so De'Aaron Fox, he might, get surgery on that finger and sit out the rest of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play in that game.
I want to talk more about that later this episode. I don't want to get too into that. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, we'll also be going over some games around the NBA last night. The NBA's really heating up. About 25 games left. Like I said last episode, every game matters so much, so it's going to be really fun to watch the rest of the season. Luke's Lock of the Week, of course, in the second half of the show. A new segment we will introduce the next half of the show as well. And then the main topic is going to be who are the top 5 players in the league this season. It's going to be some interesting debates at the end of the show. I want to see who you guys have. I know the top 3 or 4 is kind of consensus, it's obvious, but then that 5th guy, it's going to be up in the air.
I feel like the 5th guy is going to be how we personally our personal opinion on that 5th player.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we might have the same for the 5th player.
I know it's going to be interesting. I guess we'll get into that later, but we should stick on this Kings versus Hornets win. 130-88. Zach LaVine with 42 points, 8 for 9 from 3, and Malik Monk also 13 points and 10 assists. Yeah. This was really the first game from Malik in that point guard role where he looked comfortable, sharing the ball to everyone on the floor.
It was a whole lot of easy underhand passes, just dishing it out to the people who had the better shots.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of times with Malik, when he's dribbling up the court, he has a lot of spot up shots where he's just dribbling up to the 3-point line and he pulls it up. And he hits some of those, but I don't know. Zach's shot is looking a lot smoother than Malik's shot right now. Malik's shot has kind of been struggling the last few games, but I mean Zach is starting to find his stroke again. Pause.
Yeah. Dev, what'd you see from Malik and young Hollywood out there?
Well, just great game to see from Zach. Like you said, he finally. 8 and 9. I'm little sad he didn't make that I think it was earlier in the game, but he could have went 9 and 9. But it is what it is. Only missed 3 shots. Malik, I'm glad. Good to see Malik look really comfortable, and I think I like the if we're not going to change the starting lineup, I loved the rotation to begin the game. Malik got cooking a little bit, had I think 5 or 6 quick points, a couple assists, and then they went I think 3 minutes in right to that Keon Ellis substitution for Malik. And then the next time Malik came back in was 3 minutes in the first quarter, and he came in with basically the rest of the bench. So, honestly, I thought that was really cool to see, and honestly a good way to, if the starters are going to stay the same, then I think they don't need to be on the floor at the same time. every time they're on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Getting Keon in there early for Malik was a big boost to the defensive end, but Keon did leave with an injury after about 9 minutes of play.
Yeah.
It did come out today that he is active tonight. He is fine, so
He's
good to
chilling.
see. They just didn't want to put him back in because it was such a blowout. But like you said, Dev, I mean, shuffling those guys in the starting lineup, kind of always having one of those guys on the floor. Malik, LaVine, DeMar, and Sabonis, one of your like go-to guys. It's important to have one of those on the floor at all times and just mix it up with the bench guys. So I think Doug Christie's, getting a handle on this rotation finally. And also they had, some intense practice time, which they haven't really got. It came out over the All-Star break. They only had about one practice, like a serious practice. So still figuring things out. And then after that tough Warriors loss that we looked, it was an ugly loss, horrible loss.
Not a good loss.
I think Doug Christie, he realized that we needed something to change. And I think, he lit a fire under these guys before last game. And I hope it, continues over into this next stretch.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a little bit more optimistic going into this this road trip right now, because I know this was I'm against the Warriors, one of the worst teams in NBA, and then also a lot of their people in the lineup were out last night. We weren't missing anybody besides I think it was Isaac Jones was out, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of finding a little bit more of a stride, like. After tonight, too, I think we're going to have a great game against the Jazz. We have all season. We've kind of dominated them. So, I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic going into that tough little streak against the Bucks, the Thunder, and the Rockets, right?
No, the Rockets, the Mavericks, and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
And then the Spurs, the Clippers, and the Knicks. So
Wait, I don't know why I said Bucks.
that's a really tough schedule coming up. But, yeah, they do play the Bucks March 22nd, so coming up pretty soon. But... yeah, tonight they play the Utah Jazz. Should be another easy dub. Should be. We always say that, and the Kings will most of the time find a way to make it close.
Yeah.
Even in that Hornets game, it was a 9-point game in the third quarter, and then they went off in the fourth. Zach LaVine just caught fire. There was no guarding him in that game. Zach LaVine really turned it on.
Yeah, he was too fast. I know De'Aaron's really quick, but Zach LaVine just makes it look a lot smoother. He's I don't know if it's I don't know. De'Aaron's just he's quick and he can kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
But he just is a lot more wild and just sporadic.
He's really like twitchy.
Yeah,
I feel like Zach LaVine will he'll be at his own pace, be pretty slow, and then he'll turn the Jets on, and it'll be like a blink of an eye.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be right to the basket. So young Hollywood finally getting a rhythm out there. Domas didn't have a double-double in this game. It was like one of the first games in a long time where he didn't have a double-double.
Played kind of bad.
Yeah, he didn't really need it, though. I mean, we were up the whole game.
It was pretty insane because the first quarter, I think he had like 6 points, 6 rebounds, and like 3 assists or something like that. I was like, oh, he's getting a triple-double easy. That's without a doubt. But, yeah, no, after that, he kind of just went quiet.
Yeah, for sure. DeMar, consistent as always, 18 points. But... yeah, back to Zach LaVine, in his career against the Hornets, he's like 12-2, averaging 30. So going into this game, I was like, definitely bet the over on Zach LaVine this game because he kills the Hornets, in his time with the Bulls. And I was thinking about it. I really wish we played the Hornets 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Because being in the West, there's not too many nights like this where you get to win by 40.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and even the Utah Jazz tonight, they're young, but they're feisty. And they have some guys like who are playing really well. Isaiah Collier and Lauri Markkanen's finally, getting a rhythm this year. He had a weird start to the year. So Utah, it's not going to be an easy.
Walker Kessler's like top 5 in rebounding.
Yeah. And we're like he's a great shot blocker as well. So going to the rim on him, Malik, still going to be aggressive, but Walker Kessler could make things a little difficult.
Try and get him in foul trouble. That's what you should try to do with that. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I feel like the Jazz will probably do the same thing the Hornets did, kind of keep it close, like maybe around the third quarter. But I don't know. We'll definitely run away with this at some point.
Yeah. Well, the
Famous
Hornets side,
words.
for the Hornets side, Miles Bridges had 23. Couldn't stop him in the first half. Him and Malik Monk, they were teammates in Charlotte when Malik was there, so they were going back and forth a little bit. Had an easy 360. He just does that so effortlessly. What'd you guys see on the Hornets side?
There's players on there that could ball, but they're just not really a team. I don't know. I didn't really ever see any connection until the third quarter when they came back and made it like a 9-point game. I thought the Kings were gonna do the classic cardiac Kings, but Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see any connection from them at all during the game. It was just like someone went off for a little bit, and yeah.
It's kind of like an AAU style of ball. It's kind of get yours.
Exactly.
And do your own thing. LaMelo had a weird night, though. Only 13 points, 9 assists.
Yep.
He was arguing with the refs a lot. He got teed up. LaMelo is a guy that drives to the basket, but he usually settles for more of those tough threes. And he was trying to get to the basket, not getting the calls. And he was disappointed.
I think Laravia came in and played good defense against LaMelo too.
Yeah.
Him and Keon kind of just had LaMelo and hell all night. He was complaining a lot, like you said, and they kind of made it really tough on him. And the Bridges had me scared for a second though. In the first half, yeah.
And I mean, kind of irrelevant, but I'm on the Hornets on my 2K team, and Bridges annoys me so much.
He doesn't pass you the ball.
He annoys me so much.
Doesn't swing you the rock.
Yeah.
I could see that.
He annoys me so much.
I could see that.
But with LaMelo, he did not get touched at all. He was complaining so much, and I was just like, dude. I mean, I know I was up, like maybe 100 feet up above him, but
I think the only time
that's a foul, ref, and you're the last row in the scene.
The only time he really did was he did get hit, like he got hit on like the forehead or like his hair, and then he fell to the ground and was like, oh
yeah, I do remember that.
And then I was like, oh, he might have got hit, and then they showed the replay and it like swiped his hair at the top of his forehead, and I was like, bruh.
Yeah. Markelle Fultz, I think he played really well, especially in that first half. Hit that corner three. That was really good to see.
That was hype.
3 assists as well. I think he is going to provide a lot of, defense for this team. He's got some length at the point guard position. And also, we've talked about it a lot, but he's someone who can really slow this offense down and get other guys involved. Easier shots for guys like LaVine and even DeMar coming off a pin down or something like that. It doesn't have to be all ISO. And I feel like when Malik's in some of the time, it's all ISO ball. And coming up on this tough stretch, we definitely can't afford to do that.
I feel like him and Jonas together, that's a nice little combo off the bench right there.
I feel like Jonas can be a good combo with any guard.
With anybody.
He's just
like
the best
that.
screen setter, and like he rolls to the hoop every time, so you're looking for someone down there.
As long as they're an accurate passer, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because, Jonas had, in his short 14 minutes, he had 8 points and 6 rebounds and assists. Like, that's pretty nice right there.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench.
Shout out Jonas.
Shout out Jonas.
Yeah. Dev Carter did have 9 points at the very end of the game. Did you stay that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there
stayed
the
for the whole
night.
night. Yeah.
Watch the beam.
Yeah, you got to see the beam.
I had to see the beam.
So yeah, Dev Carter with 9 points. What'd you see from Dev Carter out there? How are you feeling about that?
His shot
9 points in the fourth.
Shot was looking nice.
Yeah.
It still worries me with how high the arc. I don't know.
And it's a low release.
It's a low release.
It's a very low release point. Yeah.
But I don't know. He was looking with him and it was Isaiah Crawford. They were running the court together at the end of the game.
He's got some potential.
And he definitely has some potential.
I can see him being a good role player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spin move at the end, that was nice.
Yeah. He's got some length.
No, Devin Carter, he was, I don't know. He's looking better than what he did after this little short G League stint. And his shot's looking nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, later, maybe next year, he can be a big, part of this off the bench crew. Him and Keon off the bench could be a really good defensive pairing.
We won't really be relying on his scoring that much.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Coming up after this Utah Jazz game tonight in Utah, we go to Houston. We go to the Texas road trip where we play the Rockets and the Mavericks. What's the key? That young Rockets team is really hard to beat out there with Amen Thompson and Jalen Green going off and all these guys. But honestly, I'm happy we're playing them in Houston because Jalen Green always goes off in Sacramento. He always has all his family there, all his friends. And we don't need him to have that extra motivation. Like, we need to lock him up. And then, Sengun versus Sabonis is always a fun matchup as well.
For sure.
I feel like Sabonis has his number a little bit. I think he goes at him, and those are one of those games where Domas looks to score more than he does look to pass.
Definitely.
Which is rare.
Sengun does, I think he averages around like 17, 20 points against Sabonis.
Yeah.
That's what I remember from the past few games that we played him. This is the last game I think we play him this season, maybe. Sabonis always dominates him. He always has a triple-double.
Yeah.
And then it's that vet status on him. He has the IQ a little bit more, knows how to work him down low, pause. I think we're gonna go hot against the Rockets.
Yeah, that'd be a big win because if we win tonight and then we beat the Rockets, that'd be 3 in a row. I mean, it would still be, we're probably still be in 10th in the West, but it would be making our way, closer and closer because we're only a couple games out of the 6th seed, even though we're 10th.
It's gonna be a good game for us in Houston for sure.
What about Dallas though? Right after that, we play the Dallas Mavericks, staying in Texas. How are we feeling about guarding Kyrie? I know they don't really have a big man right now, so hopefully Domas and Jonas get some minutes together. But we beat them earlier a couple weeks ago.
It's gonna be a high scoring game.
Definitely a high scoring game.
Yeah, back in the day, like when we played at Arco Arena, my dad always told me when Dallas came in and played when they had Dirk and we had like Peja, it was the shootout at the Arco Corral just because there was no defense played, and it was when Nash was on the team as well. Nash was on Dallas.
Yeah.
But the game would be like 140 to like 143, like shootout at the Arco Corral.
Probably going to be how because I feel like a couple weeks ago it went overtime and it was a really high scoring game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then same thing with the
Kyrie
Rockets.
started cooking at the end
Yeah,
of the game.
Kyrie is someone that, he went off against the Warriors the other night and the Lakers. So
Same thing with the Rockets. That's
Yeah.
going to be a high scoring game there.
Yeah.
I remember saying earlier this season that was going to be one of the highest scoring games that we had, and we won like 132 to 130 or something like that.
Yeah, well, we're only 2 games back of the 6th seed, but we're in 10th. So the Mavericks are in front of us by 1 game in the 9th spot. Then the Warriors are in 8, 1.5 games above. Timberwolves in 7th, and the Clippers in 6th. With they're both 15 games back of the 1st seed, and we're 17. So only 2 games back of the 6th seed.
I'm confident, man.
Yeah.
There's
And we're gonna play these teams coming up. So
there's no reason for us to be down and out right now.
yeah,
The way that offense looked against Charlotte, I mean, I can't be not confident if that's how it's going to look. Like,
There's still like 23 games left in the season, I think.
Yep.
20 games.
something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know a lot of fans are just like, season's over. Like, we're done. I think there were a couple people in our comments saying, nah, we can't do this. No way. But, yeah, I'm confident right now.
Yeah, confident. I mean, that game against the Warriors was pretty ugly, but I really hope
That's a hot Warriors team, though.
true that. They're looking good.
They're looking good.
The offense was just a lot better in the Hornets game. Like, there was a lot of
Movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there was no like Zach LaVine before we were kind of getting on him because before he got off, paused that last game, he was it was kind of a lot of catching the ball and then he was looking. He didn't want to fluster, ruffle any feathers. Is what I meant to say. So like he was kind of just looking to pass first. I think we kind of saw what his game can look like the other night if he's looking to get his first and then he's still like second is passing. I think he still did have a couple nice drop-offs to Sabonis, a couple sick, like he went up, left it off, and it was like the defenders jumped, and I was like, oh, that was hard.
Yeah.
But like as long as he's looking to score first, I mean, he missed 3 shots last night, and so I mean he was shooting a lot, but like I said, it's just much smoother now because it's the first thing he's looking to do. Like if you want to give somebody the ball to look to pass, give it to Domas, and then go like relocate yourself, set yourself up. And I think it helped a lot with Malik not being on the floor like at the same time as them 3. I think the Hornets when they kind of were making it close, it's like when the Malik, DeMar, and LaVine like that starters group was on the floor, and then every time they kind of like mixed it up is kind of where they started gaining separation. I think it's a little bit better for Malik to be not with 2 ISO guys, because he's also like that and then fast. So, I mean, if it's going to look like that and that's what the rotation is going to be, I mean, it gives me a lot of confidence for sure.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
LaRavia was also a huge part of the win, even though he took 0 shots, guarded multiple positions out there, did a great job, a lot of deflections and rebounds.
Got the defensive player crown.
Yep, defensive
5
player,
assists.
love that. So shout out to Jake LaRavia. Definitely a huge pickup for us, even if he's not scoring off the bench. He's still going to provide a lot of impact. And he's just a winning player, honestly. You can just tell he's like one of those guys that knows how to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where did he go to college? You know?
Man, why you put me on the spot like that?
I don't know.
I don't know where he went to college.
I mean, I don't know where he went. So, but I don't know. I feel like he whatever college he went to, I feel like he went to a very successful college because that's how those players are kind of bred in the NBA.
He went to Wake Forest, so.
Maybe I take those words back.
Hey, Jeff Teague went to Wake Forest. Shout out.
I think
shout out.
he knows his role and what it has to be on this team for them to win. And I think he kind of like he said in the interview, like they were like, you're a guy that kind of comes off the bench and like makes exciting plays. Like, are you excited to do that in front of the home crowd? And like Sacramento, and he was like, yeah, and I think that's one thing I'm gonna try to do is like get the crowd into it by making those like winning plays, like we say, diving for balls.
Yeah.
I think he jumped on the ground with somebody last
Jump
night.
ball. Yeah.
And then just those 2 rips he had. So I mean,
yeah, he's been doing that since the first minute the first second he got
literally on the
floor
court.
for the Kings. Literally the first second. You were at the game
I was
as
at
well.
That game too, yeah.
So yeah, literally since the first second he's got on the floor, he's been making an impact and bringing excitement to the Golden One
He's
Center.
nice.
Yeah, he is definitely nice.
Once you accept whatever role you have in the NBA,
a good point.
You play a whole lot better. Because I know a lot of people try to be that star player all the time, and I feel like some of those players always
not
always
everyone
fail.
can do that. Yeah,
not everybody can.
Pat Bev averaged 36 points per game in high school, and then he gets to the NBA and he's known as
with Gil. I think they were just doing it, and he was like, I tell my my like players how good you were, all the like, and then like what you did in the NBA, like you averaged 3 points or something like that. So like just players like that, not a lot of them come around all the time. So when you get them, it's like you gotta cherish them.
Yeah,
for real.
true that. Well, before we close out this first half of the show, last night around the NBA, we had some good games. The Phoenix Suns were at the Memphis Grizzlies last night, and the Grizzlies won 151-148 in OT. Ja Morant was so clutch in this game, 29 points, 8 assists. And Ja Morant's been going through a lot off the court. His house just got broken into. Damn. So, it's still a human side of the game, and Ja Morant came out here and made a statement.
Add that to the list.
Yeah, and that's been happening to a ton of NBA players
good
this
thing he
year.
wasn't
Also
there.
NFL players, too.
Yeah, it's it's a group
Joe
that's
Burrow.
doing it. It's literally a group that's doing this to NBA and famous athletes. They're going around when they're on the road or during a game and breaking into their houses. So it's rough.
Yeah,
But
no,
shout out Ja.
It's tough.
29 points after he's been hated on a lot recently for not playing that great, and people saying it's Jaren Jackson's team. No, this is Ja Morant's team, and he is still one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people go through slumps. Like, you can't blame a slump for it's just like, all right, he's done. He's washed.
And I feel like some teams kind of figured him out a little bit because when he was, reaching his peak of points per game like a couple years ago, I feel like he was getting to that mid-range floater like every time, and you couldn't stop it because if you think he's going to go all the way, then you're going to, let him take that floater, and he was automatic with that floater. I remember that's how he beat the Warriors in the play-in game like some years back. Every single time they would set a screen for him, and he'd get to that floater, and it would be automatic. And I feel like teams kind of figured that out. They're like, okay, we're just going to step up on that floater.
Yeah.
But now I feel like he has some counters to that, and he's also hitting the jumper a little more. So I think Ja Morant and the Grizzlies are going to be, I think they're going to go on a run this playoffs. I'm rooting for him.
They are still up in their third right now. I think? Yeah.
Well, and Jaren Jackson's also been playing great all year. 28 points. This team is really what I always wanted the Kings team with De'Aaron and Domas to be. Was this kind of Jaren Jackson, and then Desmond Bane. I kind of saw Keegan being our Desmond Bane or even Malik, but they just draft better than us. They
could have been.
They develop players better than us. Santi Aldama had 17 points. I know you were high on him early in the year, but he honestly reminds me of you. You guys have a similar game. When you go hoop out there, he's got that. He's tall and he can shoot the ball from deep, and he's good in the paint with that little hook shot. So Santi Aldama is a fun player to watch.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. Well, the
Maybe
Suns.
I need to get a Santi jersey.
Yeah, you should get one. Well, the Suns are really struggling, man. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're out of the play-in right now. Devin Booker had 28 points, 10 assists. Bradley Beal had 24 points, 11 assists. KD had 26, 8 and 7. And then Bol had 23 and 8, and Grayson Allen had 21 points, and they lose this game.
Didn't they blow a big lead too?
It was a close game all around.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
I thought they were the ones who blew the lead.
I mean, I know Ja was crazy clutch down the stretch. It looked like it should have been over, and Ja hit a 3 to cut it to 2, and then it was So it was a crazy game. But how do you lose a game when you have that many people scoring 20 points? You have 5 guys scoring 20 or more, and you lose.
One of them is Bol.
One of them is Bol, and the other is Grayson Allen. And Bradley Beal had 11 assists. When's the last time Bradley Beal's had 11 assists? Probably some years.
I don't know.
And they lose this game. It's just a disaster over there in Phoenix right now.
That's pretty insane.
I know.
That's actually mine.
I was really high on Phoenix
mind-boggling.
coming into the year. I had them probably top 4 in the standings. I thought they were going to make a run, and I just don't know where the direction goes, man. I don't know how they can move on because Bradley Beal has the no trade clause. It's going to be really tough for them to make any big moves.
They're cooked.
Yeah, they're cooked.
They're cooked. Yeah, that Bradley Beal thing really screws them over.
It does.
That's pretty insane.
They're probably it's gonna be KD in the summer.
It has to
He's
be,
gonna
but
somewhere.
but why would you trade KD? You're not going to get any better trading KD. He's like still one of the best scorers in the league.
For how long though?
I
well,
mean,
no, I mean not even.
that's true. But like,
Not even worried about that yet. But like,
do you think is Devin Booker a Phoenix Sun for life?
yeah, I think Booker's the only
No?
one of those ones that is gonna be. Yeah.
I think he is too. I don't see Phoenix trading him for anything.
The only way I see him being there for life is if they get rid of KD soon.
I mean,
That's
they're probably going to have to get rid of
Yeah.
KD soon, whether they like it or not. And I don't think Devin Booker. I think he's still young enough to where he can fit both timelines.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
scored 70 points and got them to the finals as the best player. You don't trade a player who
Yeah.
does that for you unless you're the Dallas Mavericks, because they did that
Nico
exact thing.
Harrison or-
They did that exact thing. They traded Luka, who had 70 for him, and got him to the finals.
So I think they could trade him in like the same circumstance that we were in. Like if they don't have anything besides Devin Booker, and if they don't have like really any draft capital.
It's only if he
Like-
requests a trade, though. That's going to be because we wouldn't have traded De'Aaron if
Yeah.
if he didn't like say he wasn't going to re-sign.
That's true.
But yeah, we'll jump into some more NBA games next second half of the show. But I still want to stay on this Suns Grizzlies game because it was such an exciting game. Jalen Wells had 19
Yeah.
points as well.
Gotta say, shout out
Super
Jalen.
fun to watch.
40 minutes.
Yeah. Is that rookie of the year? I'm voting him
Honestly,
rookie of the year.
yeah, he's probably gonna.
I
be
saw
rookie of the
a
year.
ranking today. Stephon Castle was number 1.
Yeah,
but-
that's who I said at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year. I think like one. I didn't guess.
I think I picked Reed Shepherd, so that's a L pick. That's a
He's
a
been in that
fat
too.
L pick.
I think I did have Stephon.
I think you did have Stephon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
knows?
But honestly, Jared McCain or Stephon Castle are the best players from this draft after year 1.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Castle 3 or what? Who would you put 3?
Castle, McCain, and maybe Jalen Wells. I'm going Jalen
Yeah.
Wells. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. 3 minutes.
Cheers.
All right, we are back on Beam City Sports 96.5 FM. How we starting the second half of the show?
We are starting it off with Luke's Locks of the Week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Luke's Locks of the Week. Sorry. Finishing up some Reese's Pieces right now. Shout out Reese's Pieces.
Sponsor.
Sponsor us, please.
Reese's.
Reese's Puffs. Reese's. All right. Luke's Locks of the Week. Changing up the segment a little bit. I got 2 things for you. Going to be picking a betting pick right now for a Kings future game. Not the Jazz right now, but the Houston Rockets. Kings are going to cover the spread. I think it's 5.5 right now.
They're favored or
They're favored.
the Kings are favored?
Kings are favored 5.5, I believe.
Whoa.
How does that work? Would they have to win by 5?
They need to win
or
by
more?
6.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to cover the spread, and they will win by 10, actually. That's what I'm saying.
You're saying they win by 10.
I'm saying they win by 10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Zach LaVine's going to go off. That's also one thing. If
Okay.
you're betting, put money on Zach LaVine.
Okay.
That's also what I'm saying right there. They're going to, after this Jazz game, they're going to have like a nice 3-day break, travel break, and then arrive in Houston with some fresh legs. Houston will also be fresh. They're playing tonight against San Antonio. So it'll be a good matchup. But I think we're going to score a lot. Zach LaVine's going to score a lot. Domas is going to score a lot, like we said. And then, they've been struggling a little bit lately. So we're going to go off. Pick that for your bets if you're a betting man.
Okay. I love that. I'm rocking with it.
And
Zach
then
LaVine.
my second one is the hot man of the week, Cade Cunningham.
Cade. Okay. I feel like
Cade now?
he's been, that
Cade.
might be 2 times this year you pick Cade.
Yeah,
So shout out.
shout out Cade.
Yeah, he might win Luke's
'Cause-
Man of the Year.
Maybe, yeah, he might.
Whoa. Sorry. Luke's Man of the Year, that might be Cade Cunningham, and I love it.
Yeah, because I mean the last 3 games, dude has been balling. First of all, the Pistons are on a 7-game win streak.
Shout
And
out
then,
Detroit basketball.
31 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals on 54% shooting. Dude's becoming like one of the league's favorite players slowly right now.
Yeah.
He's like becoming like social media's favorite because I see him on a lot of social media posts right now.
Those ethical buckets, man, they get you a long way.
And they're
Exactly.
going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're gonna go to
what
the
seed are they right now?
playoffs. They're in
6.
6 seed.
Six.
I think
Yeah.
they could still work their
Yeah.
way up.
8-2 in the last 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are they the best story of the year?
for sure.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise?
14 wins last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I remember what it was like 2 years ago
Yeah.
So
to beat that team.
Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, no, Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
That's the boy.
Shout out Cade. Cade and him. They're hooping. They're hooping. Malik Beasley also having a great year.
Yes, he is.
You know, he went up to the Pistons front office at the trade deadline and said, please don't trade me because I love it here. Because Malik Beasley's been moved around a lot over his career, you know, and he's trying to find a home. He's a really good shooter, but he always gets paid the minimum contract, and I think Detroit is going to pay him, you know, a good contract in the offseason, and they're going to keep him. So,
Bro, saw the vision.
yeah.
Respect.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out
No, I
Detroit,
respect
man. I got respect for that team.
As many players are asking to be traded nowadays, like shout out Malik Beasley.
Shout out. Well, I guess we can move on to ICU. My picks this week, I got a lot. First, we're starting out with that Timberwolves win against the Thunder in overtime a couple nights ago.
I know who you're going to pick.
I'm going to pick Jaden McDaniels.
I knew it. That boy went
He had
off.
27 points and 10 rebounds.
How many threes? He had a lot of threes, right?
Yeah, he can, you know, when he's hitting, he can shoot them, but he's very inconsistent.
Yeah, that's the
on
thing.
those nights where he's shooting it well, it's a good night for Minnesota. But Terrence Shannon also off the bench, 17 points, 10 rebounds. This game was crazy, man. The Timberwolves were down 22 at the end of the third. And they took Anthony Edwards out of the game, and then they went on a big run, and they came back without Anthony Edwards on the floor. It was Nikola Alexander Walker with 21.
20.
It was Naz Reid with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and Terrence Shannon, Jaden McDaniels, also Jalen Clark, who they just signed to a real contract. He was on a two-way, came out of nowhere from the G League, and he's been providing. He doesn't score a lot, but he does everything else out there, and he just hustles. He hit some crazy layup at the buzzer that was big for their momentum. But yeah, it was a crazy game. Timberwolves were really down 22 points in the fourth quarter and took Anthony Edwards out and came back.
And then came back.
They kept him out of the game. The game went to overtime. They kept him out of the game. Anthony Edwards checked in with about 2 minutes left in the overtime and got the game-winning block on Shai.
Nice.
So, you know, a team win for Minnesota, something that we probably didn't want to see as Kings fans, but, you know, it was an exciting game. So all these young teams that are going against each other are really fun to watch. Also, Rob Dillingham, 12 points. The Timberwolves today just signed Bones Highland.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
very interesting because they kind of already have that role of a player in Rob Dillingham. So I'm interested to see if they, you know, want to develop Rob in the G League maybe because he's been up and down this year. He takes some wild shots. Even though he had 12 points, he still, you know, doesn't look that great out there. But, Bones Highland and Rob in the backcourt could be fun.
Is he on a real contract?
Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
like Devin Carter. He's a rookie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was my first picks for ICU. And then also from the Utah Jazz, I hate that I have to do this, but the last game they played, Kyle Filipowski had 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. And, you know, he was a center at Duke last year in the lottery pick. But they were talking about it on the broadcast. He was a point guard his whole time growing up. And, you know, I could really see that with his play out there. He had 5 assists. He can handle the ball, shoot some pull-up threes as well. And it's crazy because when we went to the De'Aaron 60 piece earlier in the year and we saw the Utah Jazz walking around downtown Sacramento, Kyle Filipowski was the first guy we saw. So watch out for him tonight because he is a bucket and he's been playing really well lately. Also, Keontae George, talked about him a lot this year, 21 points. And he had 2 clutch threes in the very end of that game, of their last game, to make it even a game. So he's a tough shot maker and he's a bucket as well. So going to have to lock those guys up. Not going to be an easy game tonight.
I feel like he's been the one in the last couple matchups. I think I was at one of the first games they played the Jazz this year, and
the Doug McBuckets game.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when it was close, like Keontae George, I mean, I think there was another one, the second game they played, where, you know, he just gives us trouble. So he's just one of them ones. So hopefully we could keep our eye on him.
He definitely is one of them ones.
One of them ones.
Well, before we jump into the new segment,
I got one ICU.
Okay,
Rui
respect.
Hachimura from the Lakers.
Okay, showing the Lake Show some love. Shout out.
Yeah, I got it.
Happy 40th, Braun.
But no, dude, like everybody was saying, he's not consistent enough. He's not. But I'm gonna say the last 10 games he's been balling out like the last 10 games.
Love it.
I'm gonna say he's had one bad game in the last.
Hey, Luka playing with Luka, you know that can do that to you.
Dang, that's
exactly.
crazy. Playing with Luka make you better. Playing with Braun make you worse.
No,
so like,
it's
they both make you better.
voodoo
I don't know
magic
about
going
that,
on
man.
over there. I'm just kidding.
there's a lot more to counter argue than the LeBron one right there. Luka, I agree with, but
Man,
I don't know.
Luka definitely makes his guys better, though.
Luka makes
And-
LeBron better, bro. You seen that pass where LeBron wasn't even gonna cut,
Yeah.
and so Luka just threw it under
And
the
LeBron
hoop,
was
and
like,
he
okay,
had to go get
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys saw JJ's defensive scheme against the Nuggets with Jokic. It was insane seeing them like cut off his routes because there was a play that like the Lakers definitely knew that they were running, and they were cutting off his routes. Like he was trying to run over to a corner, and then Austin Reeves like left his man to go stand in front of him. And then they didn't know where to go. Like so, then Jokic tried to run back out, and then I think Rui came in and like took him over and double teamed them.
Yeah.
And it was pretty insane.
It's crazy what you could do with good defensive players.
Yeah.
Shout out to JJ.
Shout out JJ.
He said
just
he didn't
locking that
sleep
down.
for 2 days planning for this Nuggets
Man,
game.
that's cat.
I believe it.
I don't believe it.
JJ is, that diehard of a coach. But
trying to
He
clip
is, but
farm. He's clip
that's-
farming.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
clip farming. But they have the Lakers have nightmares about the Nuggets, man. So because they beat them so many times in the playoffs and just every game in the regular season, and to not have a center above the level of Jackson Hayes and to lock up Jokic for I think he had like 12 points that game. That's like one of the lowest scoring games he's had all year. And everyone,
they got A-Len.
yeah. Oh no, Alen was not a part of that defensive
play
lineup.
that much,
But yeah, shout out to Alen, man. But locking up Jokic like that with no center, like you said, that was all JJ. The defensive game plan was crazy. And then last game, we'll jump into it right now. The Mavs at the Lakers. It was Luka versus the Mavs in the revenge game. It was a really hyped up game. Nico Harrison was in the building. How are you in the building?
Confirmed.
How did he not get heckled?
Well,
Oh no, he
he's
did.
not-
He
did.
kind of did. It was thank you, Nico.
his life's
makes
just
sense.
not in danger in LA, so
Yeah.
he can go to those games.
Yeah, they probably love him in LA. Actually, wow.
He'll
You're
PJ
probably-
Washington
He'll
to
never
0
have to pay
points.
for a drink in LA again.
Yeah, well, Jackson, I saw on Instagram, was hating on PJ Washington, and Warriors fans also hate PJ Washington
Steph
as
hit him
well.
with the night-night.
Yeah, because he hit the night earlier in the year, and then Steph hit the night the earliest in his career when they played the Mavs the other night in the third quarter. First time Steph's ever done it in the
Looking
third
right
quarter.
at him running down
Yeah.
the court.
It was like a 30-point
I hate
game,
Steph
so
Curry, bro.
valid. No, you don't. Don't lie. Well, Luka, revenge game. He had a triple-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists. Also, the Mavs traded him because of the defense. He had 3 steals and 2 blocks. So take that, Nico.
And then I also saw something.
There's some defense for you.
He's playing defense. He was there.
Also,
Yeah.
I saw something that came out. I don't know how true it is, but it came out on a few
I
reports.
saw that.
Hookah
Yep.
and beer.
Hookah Luka, baby.
Luka.
Hookah Luka.
Like, how you not gonna let the man that take you to the finals not drink
I'm
beer?
telling you, bro, that video we saw of,
Or
I
some
think,
hookah.
Michael Finley,
Taking
it was,
it away from
taking
him?
that beer away.
Oh my gosh.
Bigger problem than we ever thought. We
I
kind of
felt
thought it
so
was
bad.
a joke.
I felt seeing that happen
you
right there.
yeah.
I was like,
It's-
no, you
it's-
don't.
Did you see how disappointed Luka looked when
Yeah.
he took the beer? He looked at him like,
like,
oh.
"Oh, man."
It's
really?
crazy because it's not even that big of a problem. They just in their mind it is. And they're gonna. And I saw a picture of Luka. It was like 2 weeks ago when he arrived, and now, and he looks. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if he's lost any weight. It's probably just the
Probably looks
angle of the
better.
camera. But like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nico,
crazy.
bro.
Crazy.
I
man.
did hear a report from our guys and numbers on the board that the Mavericks, owners, the new owners, ever since Mark Cuban is not the owner anymore, they don't know basketball. They said trading Luka, they were behind, most of it. And they said they wanted guys that have the work ethic of Kobe Bryant and Shaq. And that's what they think Kyrie and AD have.
That would be
And-
like me if I ever got to be a GM of a franchise or owner. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah. No, they don't know basketball because if you know anything about basketball, the problem between Kobe and Shaq was that Shaq didn't have any
Shaq
work
didn't
ethic.
have any
Didn't-
work
yeah.
ethic.
Kobe had the most insane work ethic of all time, but Shaq didn't. And he admits that. Shaq says if he worked harder, he could have been the best player of all time, and he knows that. But he didn't work hard.
Shaq was damn near the best player.
I mean, he still is top 10 for
Shaq is
sure.
damn near.
But he didn't work hard.
Shaq
But,
damn near top
but that was
5.
the big thing. I don't know about top
Dude,
5.
he's close to it.
He's close to
I'm
it.
not putting him past 7.
Damn. Hakeem or Shaq?
Shaq.
I'm taking Shaq. Yeah, I'm taking
I'm
Shaq.
taking Shaq.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Kyrie in this game, Mavs Lakers, was going off. He had 35 points. Everyone was talking about AD didn't play. It was all Luka's game. No, Kyrie came out and made a statement. He shaved the facial hair. No more Uncle Drew for Kyrie. Yeah.
He looked like young Kyrie.
He did look
again.
like young Kyrie, and he
Yeah.
was hooping like it too.
Yeah.
Cooking AR, just getting to the rim.
AR was also cooking.
AR was also cooking 20 points. And also my guy Baron, 27 points, 12 assists. Shout out to Baron.
I'm not agreeing with that.
Yeah, what? 27 and 12?
Yeah. He's
Shout
nice.
out Brian.
You know
yes,
he's
I
nice.
mean,
You know he's nice.
Yeah,
Well, Clay had 22. He kept the game close. Clay was actually going off, so
Shout
it was
out
good to
Clay.
see Clay after the game before
Yeah.
that against the Warriors,
looking
where he was
depressed
really
on
bad.
the bench.
Yeah,
Did you see that video
yeah,
after Steph hit the three? Like he was just
yeah. He
it showed it from the
didn't
side.
even move. Yeah,
Hey, at least he's getting that bag that he complained for.
yeah. True that.
You right.
Well, one more thing before we move on to a new segment is Seth Curry is the 7th best 3-point shooter of all time. And I'm
Seth?
telling you, Seth, and the Kings need to get him in the offseason. Don't roll your eyes.
How old is
Because
he?
No, I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, Seth Curry played the Warriors last night. He's only like 30.
Oh yeah, do
So,
it.
yeah.
Is he a
pick
free
up-
agent after this?
I think he is going to be a free agent after
Bruh.
this year.
Get him back to
Bring
the Kings.
him
Yes.
back to
Please.
Sac, bro.
I'm saying right now. And he had 14 against the Warriors last night, even though it was a blowout. But I really think Seth can provide some shooting. And I heard that stat last night, and I had to bring it up for our boy Seth.
The
So,
7th best
shout
of
out.
all time.
Yeah, by percentage and like volume. So shout out to Seth, man.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
Shout out when Arco closed for the last game.
last
Bro
game
went for 30.
he did in those light blue jerseys.
Yep.
Shout out. Well, Dev's disappointment, the new segment. Dev's
snap, bruh.
disappointment.
We're gonna go back
Double
to
D.
Phoenix, Arizona. The Suns are obviously,
It's cold.
they've been a disappointment all year,
It's
but
cold.
It's cold
Yeah.
in Phoenix
It's
this
cold
year.
in Phoenix.
even so lately, 2-8 in their last 10, and they've lost 2 in a row. And they lost that heartbreaker to who was it?
The Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies.
Yeah.
With all those players having above 20 or above, that's just like you said. How do you lose that game?
Yeah.
And then it's just disappointing. It's really going to come down to KD probably getting traded in the offseason this summer. It
Back
just
to the
sucks.
Warriors?
No, I'm good off that. It just sucks that it's kind of like this has kind of been the story for the last couple of stops that KD's been. It's kind of they've been trying to add him on to a couple of good teams, make a super team, and it just hasn't really worked out for him since he's Nets. Was
Yeah.
it the Suns right after the Nets? Who was right before the Nets? Where'd he go right after? Oh,
He got
just
traded from the
okay.
Warriors.
Yeah,
for the Nets.
Yeah, and then just those years there with Kyrie and James, and then the Suns. Like it's tough that's kind of been the story these last few years for him because he's 34, 33, something like that,
Yeah.
and then he's obviously still one of the best players in the game,
Scores of all time.
literally still. So it's just very, very disappointing. Like we said, that's the segment name, so it's very tough, and
Yeah.
I think they'll probably get off him in the offseason, and like we said, I don't think they'll trade Devin Booker. I think they're probably going to try to keep Booker for as long as they can. That's the one guy that they're probably going to keep. I mean, they might even try to get off Beal too, but I don't know how they would, be able to do that contract-wise and everything. So
And he decides where he goes. So.
yeah, it's just going to be very disappointing, and it's only going to be even more disappointing come summer, and then hopefully a fresh start to a new season next year for the Suns and their fans, and
Yeah.
it won't be as bad.
Always remember that Chris Paul 3 being down
cut it to 32,
to cut it to
baby.
32 in Game 7. And ever since then, Phoenix has been on the downhill.
Yeah.
But we can jump in to the main topic of today's show. Who are the top 5 players in the league today? We can start at number 1.
Starting at 1?
Starting at 1 because it's so obvious.
Okay.
Nikola Jokić is the best player in the league.
I was okay.
We
I
all
thought
agree
you
with
were
that?
Gonna put
You
Shai.
didn't? Oh, no.
One now, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Jokic is definitely the number 1.
It's not. I still think Shai's going to win MVP,
MVP, yeah.
but Jokic is, he's by far the best player in the
Yes.
league. It's undoubtedly.
Stats wise, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's honestly, he's going to go down as a top 10 player of all time. Saying
For
it
sure.
right now. Yeah.
Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he's not already.
Yeah, if he's not already. Yeah, I like the respect. Number 2 in the league. This was a tough spot for me. It was either Shai or Giannis, but I'm going Giannis.
Shai
I'm going Giannis at number 2. He's so unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
And I think, he's just more dominant
I
than
agree.
Shai, even though Shai's having a better year for sure.
Yeah.
Shai's the MVP, but Giannis, I think, is the second best player in the
I
league.
kind of had them I
And
had
the
them-
defense.
I had them dashed. I
Yeah.
was just like,
Tied,
It's tough.
They're right
basically.
there.
Yeah. Well, who are you going?
Probably Giannis.
Yeah.
Like if I'm playing 2K, I'm picking Giannis.
Yeah, There's just unstoppable.
Well, there's the argument right there.
Yeah.
You're right.
There's no one.
Giannis, bro.
There's literally no one in the league that is a good matchup for Giannis.
Yeah.
They can really
Bol.
most teams have no one to guard him. Hey, Shaq is riding with Bol still.
Yeah. He's a good player.
He's been playing good. Shout out Bol.
Shot a ball.
Yeah,
Well,
he's not guarding. I was just kidding. He's not guarding Giannis.
yeah. Well, number 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has to be.
Yeah.
I've been hating on him before this year a lot. I've been calling him a free throw merchant. I take that back. He is a bucket, and he is, the hoops are a lot more ethical this year for Shai. And the Thunder, he's leading the best team in the Western Conference, like by far. And there's nothing bad you can say about Shai this year. He's just him. He's him. No glaze. He's him.
Yeah, still a free throw merchant.
I'm not going to say
not
he's
as
him
bad this
because
year.
there's too many hymns.
No, he's
one of them ones.
He's the best point guard in the league this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously think Steph is the best point guard in the league.
if you're
Luka is up there.
If you're going to
but-
win MVP, yeah, you're probably this year the best point guard.
this year
in the
he's
league.
the best point guard in the league. It's tough. Hey, Brunson's up there too.
He's not.
He's not in that
Milo, where you at? I
conversation.
know you heck of mad right now.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, so we all have the same top three. We're all agreeing with the top three.
Yeah.
Jokic, Giannis, Shai. Number 4. Well, this was really tough. I had to show our guy Milo some love. I'm going Jayson
I was
Tatum.
gonna say JT.
Yeah, number 4?
Like I gotta show him respect.
You had number 4 for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
I almost
Milo-
forgot about him.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
didn't
how
even.
underrated he
I didn't
is.
even think about him.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit, JT.
Yeah. It's
Sorry,
okay.
my bad.
It's okay.
But yeah, JT over there in the East, like I haven't really showed him respect like all year, just because I don't want him to win again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's carried that team the past 2 years and last year to a chip. So
Yeah, he's very underrated. The playmaking is a huge part of the leap this year for him. Like you said, the Olympics might have gotten to him a little bit, and he's really taken the initiative to be the guy to get everyone involved and to not force anything. And the last game they played, it was against the Sixers. It was an easy win for the Celtics, but I was watching him really closely, and there's just nothing you can do to guard Jayson Tatum. They were throwing doubles at him. He was making the right pass every time. And then when you have single coverage on him, he would hit that post fade like Kobe, honestly. Like he looked up to Kobe, and he's definitely more of a passer than Kobe.
Too much, man.
Yeah.
Too much.
I don't know.
Cringy.
I like it.
Cringy.
Look up to your idol.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about the cringe.
Yeah, I know. I disagree though. Shout out to our guy Milo, Jayson Tatum lover, but I think this playoffs he's gonna, people are gonna respect him more, especially if the Celtics do end up going back to back. Even though I'm betting against it, if they do it, Jayson Tatum's gonna, be known as like a top 4 player in the league for sure, if he's not already.
Yeah, I mean he probably is known as one. Like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but this next pick is going to be, there's a lot of guys who I have for this number 5 spot this year because, like on a normal year, usually last year we'd have Embiid in here. He averaged 34 points a game last year, and he's not even close.
I'm also kind of judging this on where the team stands.
Yeah, it has to be everything,
Yeah.
So it's really tough because also Luka's been hurt like all year.
I
Like,
don't have him in this
you
conversation.
don't have Luka in this conversation?
No, because he's just been hurt.
Yeah.
Like all year.
If we're just going off this season, it's really hard to have
He's been
Luka.
and then he's also on 2 different teams too. So
Yeah.
like I don't know. He can't really. He's gonna help the Lakers the rest of the year. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if we had this conversation later in the year, then I would probably put Luka. But right now, I don't know.
Yeah, I know because he missed so much
He's
time, and
missed
also
a lot of time.
with his first couple games with the Lakers, he's scoring 13 points. So it's like, how can we put him as a top 5 player in the league?
Yeah.
But maybe he's gonna, switch back to that mode come playoff time.
Hopefully not.
I know. Well, Dev, I want to hear from you, man. Who are you thinking for this 5th spot this year? Anyone come to mind?
I mean,
because it's a really tough one.
I'm gonna say Wemby for now, but I kind of want to hear what you guys think, and I kind of want to sit and I'm trying to think of anybody else I could put there, but I mean, I kind of want to for now go Wemby.
I mean, yeah, it's
I
hard to
wanna go-
argue against Wemby.
I want to go Wemby, but now he's out for the
Yeah,
season.
and so that's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to like maybe come up with another one, see what you guys. But I mean,
Yeah.
if he played that full season, it's got to be Wemby.
Yeah, I mean,
It
some other.
even still was like the half season he did.
I
get
mean,
in
yeah,
this
he was
year.
easily gonna win. Okay, top 5.
Hey,
Oh.
Tony.
Oh, I was gonna say more Anthony Edwards,
I was gonna say that,
but
too.
they are like
But
lower.
They've
in
been
the-
struggling.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And
If it was like if they had the same
I don't
record they
know.
had last year, I think Anthony Edwards would easily be
Yeah.
that 5th spot.
Yeah.
but
Brunson?
I mean, I'm voting. I'm
Brunson
rocking
is up
Brunson.
there. This number 5 spot can go to a lot of people.
I
Somebody
have-
on the
feel like.
Cavs? Would you give
The
it to anybody
Cavs,
on
dude.
the Cavs?
Hey,
Donovan
I love
might,
Donovan Mitchell,
might
man.
deserve it too.
Donovan?
Like this
dude,
number
but he
5
has so
can
many
go-
games. Literally, last game they beat the Magic by like 30, and
He
he
didn't really do
had
that.
11 points.
That's true.
And like, because he doesn't even play the 4th quarter most of the game, so
True.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of that weird spot where he's so good, but his team is just like Ty Jerome had 20 points last game, and Max Strus had 17, and like every game they have like 7 players in double figures. So
Malik Monk? I'm sorry.
no. I wish.
Zach LaVine.
No, yeah.
Hey, Zach LaVine top 5? No, I'm
the
kidding.
Cavs go like all over. I mean, it's a real team out there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a real team basketball.
I don't think Donovan has the numbers to be in that top 5
Yeah,
conversation.
probably not.
I mean, right now it's Wemby. I mean, that's really the only argument. I want to say Steph, but he's kind of had a down year.
He's
if I'm
had a
being
down year
honest.
a little bit.
Even though the last couple games have been stepping it up, but
Damn.
it's really tough.
I
I
hate
mean,
to see it too. I hate to
hey, Domas, he's consistent as they come. That's for sure. This is really tough for that 5th spot.
Yeah,
But we
that's
got to
tough
make a
one.
decision. We have to make a decision.
I'm
right
going
now,
with Cade.
oh, go with Cade.
I'm going with Cade.
Okay.
Because I don't know. It's kind of it is obviously a little personal opinion, but like I don't know. It's just it might also be reflecting off of my Luke's lock of the week.
True. Wait,
But-
we can't like skip over Braun though. I can't believe I didn't even put Braun on the list. He's still having a crazy year. I mean, I know it's a little. He's 40 years old,
That's true.
but he's top 10 this year for sure.
I don't think he'll ever not be, but
Yeah.
I, don't know,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna put him top 5. I'm not gonna
24,
put him
7, and
top 5.
8 though.
Yeah.
Like that is pretty. Damn, LeBron might have to go to.
Number 5.
He might have to.
Hey, look at Luke showing Braun
Wemby.
some love. Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue Wemby because
Wemby also. I don't
yeah,
know.
this is
It's
a really tough
toss-up.
one.
Damn.
That 5th spot, I'm telling you, the top 4 is like set in stone for this year, and then after that,
You have no idea how good Tim was.
All right, we all pick a player,
yeah.
and then we play Rochambeau. And then whoever wins Rochambeau, that's number 5.
What?
Uh,
Do we
say
all
it
pick
again?
somebody different?
Yeah, we all pick somebody different, and we play Rochambeau.
Oh, so to see who wins it.
To see who
Okay,
wins
so
and then-
I'm
All right, I got Wemby then.
okay.
All right, I'm rolling with Cade.
I'm going Braun.
All
No,
right.
yeah, I'm going Braun.
We'll go
We play-
first.
All right.
Just one and done? Should we do just
yeah,
for
one and
time
done.
purposes?
Yeah. Ah,
Okay. Wemby won. Why are you so hyped for Wemby? Okay. Braun. Okay, that was a little
No.
weird. Okay, well,
and then we play.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then whoever wins this plays Devin, I think. Oh wait, no, I'm confused.
Nah, I
this
think
is
Braun
wrong.
just wins.
Braun
Yeah,
might get it.
I think
Sadly.
Braun wins.
It's Malik Monk. We all know.
Oh, we should have done blue shoe, man.
Blue shoe.
Blue shoe.
Well, next week we are going to be back, or this Saturday we're going to be back at the Beam City Sports Bar, and then we're going to be going over X factors for every playoff team. Hopefully going to have Jackson on the show, Laker fan, so I'm curious to see who his X factor for the Lakers is, because the X factor isn't always the best guy. It's got to be like someone who will really like
I already
help
know
put
who
this
it is
team
on
over
it.
the top.
I already know who
Jackson
it is on the
Hayes?
Lakers. On the Lakers?
Yeah.
The Lakers.
No.
Who?
Braun.
Rui.
See, that's a good one. Rui is a
Braun.
good one.
Rui's probably the
If
one
Rui
that's gonna
scores 15 or more, the Lakers are most of the time unbeatable.
Yeah.
Oh, for the Warriors, it's Moses Moody. I'm saying it right now. When I saw a stat today, when Moses Moody starts, they're 10-0 this year. And he killed the Kings the other night.
Yeah, when he
started.
gets an open shot in the corner, he makes it every time. Yeah.
Hey, but Moody is really consistent, and I'm really happy the Warriors didn't end up trading him because, earlier this year and every single year we've had Kuminga and Moody. It's like they've been in the trade
Trade
rumors
talks,
every
yeah.
year, and I'm just happy they didn't trade either of them because I think come playoff time, Moody's going to be probably in that starting lineup. They probably will go small with Draymond at the 5. So, yeah.
I mean, their small ball lineup only worked against us because we suck at guarding that 3-point line.
that's
So,
very true. Hey, but they've been hitting against everyone though.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
They also
Hot take.
The Hornets have lost
That's
the
crazy.
last 3 games by like 40.
Hey, they're tanking. They're going for Coop.
Yeah.
Hot take. Warriors are winning it all this year. I'm convinced.
Tyler's take of the week.
Draymond got you
convinced.
geeking. man.
Draymond got me. Yeah, Draymond and Jimmy putting it on Steph's hands, but Steph's going to deliver once again.
Glaze.
2022 vibes.
Glaze.
Shout
I
out
think they lose
Pajemski.
Game
They
7 in
actually
the
do.
Western
They
Conference
worry
Finals
me.
to the
Spell
Thunder.
Pajemski.
P-O-D
Pudge
J
Emski.
Z,
E-M.
boy.
Oh, it's a Z?
Yeah. P-O-D-Z. Pods.
E-M-S-K-I.
No.
Cheers. Have a good day,
Pajemski.
Yep.
guys.
See you guys next week.